Good morning. Welcome to Spokane. Welcome to my watermelon. I'm Aaron. This is my channel. I bought a big Victorian house. I've been figuring out how to remodel it as I go. So if you watched yesterday's video, you know that I was having a big problem trying to figure out how to remove this blown in insulation. Well, I'm here to tell you, we figured it out. We've got a couple of little kinks to work out, but here it is. So, what we have here is a dust extractor. And this is the Jet Vortex Cone. 1.5 horsepower, 110 volts, 11 amps. This is designed to pull dust out of a wood shop. So you would hook all this up, you'd run your tubes, and you'd hook it up to tools, and it would suck out any sawdust. So we took it, we did a couple of modifications. Now some people have done this with a Harbor Freight one, which would have been really nice, except that when I called Harbor Freight, they told me that as soon as I get it was the end of May. And, well, I don't really have that kind of time. So I went searching for it, and very fortunate the Spokane Power Tool had one in stock, and so we got this guy. So initial thoughts were, cool, we'll suck up the foam, the blown-in insulation, and we'll put it in bags. I filled up 4 of these things, which is barely one pocket above there, and a couple above these two closets that are up in these rooms. So we developed a little bit of a different idea to solve that problem. But first, exactly what did we do? So we got this guy, we set it all up. One of the cool things about this is that it pushes into here any dust or any blown in insulation, and it spins it up, and it helps to make these bags fit better, like compact down in there better. Works phenomenally, like absolutely amazingly. The problem is, obviously it fills them all up. And also, this 4-inch hose here that you get with it, it gets really springy when it gets warm, and it's kind of heavy. It's super durable, which is what you want. So we had to come up with a solution. Conveniently, I also own a shop vac downstairs that we've been using that does not work well for picking up insulation, but it does have some hoses. So we went to the hardware store, and I got some fittings. So inside here, right, is just a 3-inch down to a 2-inch fitting. And then we use this hose clamp here to stick it in there. And then some duct tape. I know, it's duct tape though, it's for ducting. So it moves air, it's for holding stuff. And we duct taped our shop vac hose down to it. So it does neck it down to 2 inches. Downside, it necks it down to 2 inches. Plus side, this is not a shop vac. So this is designed for dust, not debris. So the big problem here with this is, inside of here is your impellers. And this pulls all of that insulation straight in there, or anything else that you have. So when we tested out with just the 4-inch, we had a couple times where we pulled in some pieces of wood and whatnot, and it gets stuck and stops right here, and then you can't pull anything else. You have to take this hose off, you have to clear it and do it again. So putting the 2-inch on there really narrows that in. So here's the other thing we did though. We got some 2-inch PVC pipe. We made a sucker gun. So this is just 2-inch PVC pipe, and then a 2-inch coupler with a 1.5 down. And then we just took some ABS, well it's ABS, not PVC pipe, but you get the idea. 1.5 inch down, put this little cap on there that lets me screw this in there. So now you can go like this, and you can suck up anything you want, right? So we took then a small piece of 2-inch, and I, again, duct taped on a sweet shop vac attachment, and you can just take that in there, and then over in those areas or above the closets, I can just get up in there like that. Now, what if you've got to get farther? Well, one of the fortunate things is ABS is relatively cheap. So we bought a 10-foot section, so we have this. So I can get way up in there from down here. I can get way back in closets. if you have access to the pockets above your ceilings, then you can get far distances with it. Pretty sweet. It's working out really well. Problem. And let me show you this. The problem is those bags. Those bags are roughly $5 each or something like that. There's just no way that I'm gonna buy 100 of those bags. So we thought about the black trash bags. We kind of used them, but again, we're filling these up in probably every 10 to 15 minutes. So we took our output hose and dun, 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 this is just some flexible irrigation tubing, and that's the dump truck. So we're literally just shoving this down into the dump truck. There's a little bit of revision that needs to be done in the dump truck because the insulation can get out some of the corners, so we're going to fix that today. But overall, that works like a champ, and you can just keep going and going and going. The one limiting factor is definitely that 4-inch hose right there, because it's kind of heavy and unwieldy. But that 2-inch shop vac hose, way easier to work with, way easier. Second problem, when we had this going, right? This is a filter, so when all this pressure's in here, it kind of shoves a little bit up into here to release a little excess. This one is sweet. It goes to 2 microns. If you've ever had one of these before, you know that this whole section up here was some sort of fabric. And when it filled up, you had to like take it and shake it out. This has this. And this allows the inside of this filter to get scraped so that your vortex cone gets clear. So this was our solution. It's working pretty well right now. I didn't get a whole lot done because we were building, developing, hardware store runs, and everything else yesterday. But obviously, we got these 4 bags filled, and there's probably at least 3 bags worth in the truck. So we'll be filling those up today. I'm going to do a dump run, and then I'm going to work on making the truck a little more airish tight so that we can get in there. And then it'll be real interesting to see what the dump says when I show up with a dump truck full of blown insulation that probably weighs 200 pounds at most in an entire dump truck. So that'll be real fun. But overall, let's go look over here. If we look up in here, look at that. See that? No insulation, right? But let me see if I can lift you guys up so that you guys can get up in there and see what's going on with the distances. There you go. I got you on this sweet little selfie stick. So look at that. Look at that. So you can see that I go in at an angle. And when I go in at an angle, it makes those little pockets like that. So much cleaner, so much better. If we look, I don't know if you guys remember, but these are the closets in here, and they were full. So over here, we actually got to spend a little bit of time while we were developing it because it's in the same room. And look at that. This thing is awesome. Really, really, really works well. I've got a few ideas to make it work better, but overall, dust extractor, this one has a lot of torque, and it creates a lot of suction. It's pretty great. Hey, this is the solution. It's working right now. It may not be the tool designed for the job, but it's the right tool for the job because it works. I appreciate everyone watching. That's the tool to use if you need to, in the moment, do it. And by the way, costs just around what 2 days of renting an installation vacuum cost. And when we get ready to actually do construction in here and we're working with our tools, we can run hoses to that and it'll suck up the sawdust, helping keep our workspace cleaner. Winds all the way around the board, and then potentially, if I don't use it in a wood shop, then guess what? It goes in my wood shop. If I don't use it in my wood shop, I could sell it. So, win-win. Anyways, if you like this content, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, little bell to ding if you're really that interested in it. Otherwise, throw me some comments below if you've got ways or ideas for me to improve this, because I would love to hear them. I got like 2 or 3 yesterday on ideas for doing things, and I cannot thank you all enough. Anyways, I appreciate every one of you, and I'll see you tomorrow.